The Gulf War, August 2, 1990 through February 28, 1991. Codenamed Operation Desert Shield, August 2, 1990 through January 17, 1991. For operations leading to the buildup of troops and defense of Saudi Arabia and Operation Desert Storm, January 17, 1991 through February 28, 1991. In its combat phase was a war waged by coalition forces from 35 nations led by the United States against Iraq in response to Iraq's invasion and annexation of Kuwait, arising from oil pricing and production disputes. On August 2, 1990, the Iraqi army invaded and occupied Kuwait, which was met with international condemnation and brought immediate economic sanctions against Iraq by members of the UN Security Council. UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and US President George H.W. Bush deployed forces into Saudi Arabia and urged other countries to send their forces to the scene. An array of nations joined the coalition, forming the largest military alliance since World War II. Most of the coalition's military forces were from the US, with Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, and Egypt as leading contributors, in that order. Kuwait and Saudi Arabia paid around $32 billion of the $60 billion cost. The war marked the introduction of live news broadcasts from the battle's front lines, principally by the US network CNN. The war has also earned the nickname Video Game War after the daily broadcast of images from cameras on board US bombers during Operation Desert Storm. The initial conflict to expel Iraqi forces from Kuwait began with an aerial and naval bombardment on January 17, 1991, continuing for 5 weeks. A ground assault on February 24th followed this. This was a decisive victory for the coalition forces, who liberated Kuwait and advanced into Iraqi territory. The coalition ceased its advance and declared a ceasefire 100 hours after the ground campaign started. Aerial and ground combat was confined to Iraq, Kuwait, and areas on Saudi Arabia's border. Iraq launched Scud missiles against Israel and coalition targets in Saudi Arabia.